What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sanchez 405 coming at you. It's on the Warpath. If you're new to the channel, make sure you click the subscribe button. Hit that bell so you get notifications anytime there's new content to the channel. And as always, like, comment, share this video out. Because, we get guests out of the yin-yang now. We really do. We've got Freddie. We've got Maddy from HTWeAre Podcast. So y'all go and download them. And I know y'all can find this podcast anywhere you can find podcasts at. I use Apple, so I'm biased because I like that elite technology.
But we're Apple snobs over here, bro. We're all iPhone snobs.
Hey, that's all good. We can get along then.
If it don't turn blue, it ain't for you.
So how y'all doing today, Freddie, Maddy? What's up?
Doing well. Excited to be here. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, we just got done eating a whole bunch of fast food, which is like our favorite thing.
I agree. I'm like I'm on the Andy Reid diet. I like cheeseburgers, extra bacon, extra cheese, extra burger, all good. And it helps my legs get strong. And we'll dive right in about strongs. The news came out yesterday, and by the time we get this out here, it's going to be Monday. But Alex Smith is in reported that Alex Smith is probably going to be released by Washington here in the next few days. So my first question, y'all, is what in the world were y'all thinking when you saw this news? And then I'll double up. What did you think of the GQ article?
Well, I'll say this. I've been a huge fan of Alex Smith for a really long time, even before he came here. So when we got him for the trade, I was super excited to have him. And obviously, it sucks what's happened. But as far as him being released and everything, I mean, I think everybody saw it coming. That cap hit, like we all kind of realized, we see how aggressive they've been, even just with Matt Stafford. They made an offer for him. So they're aggressive enough where they're like, Alex Smith isn't our starter. We're looking for somebody to be our starter. So for that kind of cap hit, you can't, you have to do, this is something you have to do. So not really surprised by the release. It's sad, but at the same time, kind of everybody knew it was going to happen, knew it was coming. And as far as the article, it was tough to see because, I think that everybody, maybe Alex Smith doesn't seem necessarily like the type I didn't think that would like go and talk to media like that. And, I've always been so tired of the quarterbacks that we've had here because obviously we've had plenty of them that have gone and, kind of, I don't want to run their mouth, but just talk about how bad it's been. But it feels like this year was different. It felt like with this coaching staff, with Ron, with everybody, it felt like a place that wouldn't get bad mouthed. And so it felt a little sad, like, oh, come on. But at the end of the day, he spoke his truth. And I still don't think it necessarily reflects too horribly on the coaching staff. It was just a really crazy position that I don't think a lot of people would have known how to handle as far as him, being on the team, getting ever. So didn't love the comments, but, like I said, he spoke his truth, and I can't get too mad at him for that.
Yeah, I mean, honesty is the best policy. We were taught that growing up as kids. So be honest, speak your truth, and he legitimately did it. So, Freddie, I asked you the same question. What were your thoughts when you saw this?
So my initial thought about, the breaking news, Alex Smith is going to get released. Washington football team is planning on cutting Alex Smith. And I was like, duh. Like, no, are you like, why? Like, this ain't news. It's like we've been pursuing quarterback. It was already out there. We were trying to get Matt Stafford. We've been talking since the season ended about who's going to be the quarterback. All the people who were like freaking out, like, oh, they're going to cut Alex Smith. We're doing Alex Smith dirty. It's the same people who were speculating on who was going to be the quarterback. Like, it was already a foregone conclusion. Alex was going to be gone, right? So that was my response to that. It was like, damn, it's like, it is a slow news cycle, isn't it? It's like, shit, like this is breaking news. Oh my gosh. It was the same thing like when the week before when the team was like, oh yeah, well, we're going to announce the new name next year. You said that already. Like, all right. So I'm like, whatever about that. As far as the GQ article, so my feelings about that is I know that Alex is a smart guy and he's worked really, really hard. And I'm sure that everything that he said, he believed in what he said, and it was true, or at least it was true to him. There's three sides to every story. There's your side, their side, and the truth, right? So there's a little bit in all of that. And I'm sure the perception, the way he perceived things, I'm sure it was that way. And of course, Alex was not their guy. None of the quarterbacks were their guy. Okay. Kyle Allen is not even necessarily their guy. I don't think we've gone out and we haven't gotten our guy yet, whoever that may be. But as far as his comments about the team, like people not believing in him and all that kind of stuff, I mean, I feel like that is sort of essential to, to do what he did. I think a lot of it just serves as just fuel for his fire, so to speak. But I also think that, Alex is not stupid, as I said. He knew that he was not going to be back. Like, he saw the writing on the wall. He knows what was going to happen. So I think he is trying to push a certain narrative to where the perception doesn't just come that, well, Alex was just cut because because he can't do it and he's not going to be the guy, he can't stay healthy, all those things, which are all true. I mean, it is what it is. Okay. But I think if he can get some clubs, or at least some type of public perception, especially nationally, people who don't follow the team as closely like we do, who just see big articles, big news, they hear, oh, Alex Smith is salty, and then the next thing that they hear is that he's being cut, right? So then the narrative is that Alex was being cut because he didn't want to be here, or he asked to leave, or we didn't believe in him, blah, 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 and not that he's done, he's finished, and no one should sign him because he's not worth signing. So I really think a lot of it is just narrative pushing. And I don't think that people who think that Alex is is going to hate this franchise or is going to hold a grudge against the coach, that's all a bunch. No, I don't believe any of it. I believe everything that Ron said about Alex's return being miraculous. I mean, we talked when we had JDR on our podcast a couple of weeks ago. He spoke very candidly and really unprompted about going in depth, talking about when he first saw Alex, he said that he did not think he was ever going to play again. And nobody thought that. I didn't think that. I remember having a conversation with my father last August, and he was talking about, so what do you think about Alex Smith? I'm like, Alex Smith isn't going to play. I'm like, Alex Smith is never playing football again. There's no way that happens. And he proved us all wrong. It happened. Did he get on the field and play great football, though? If we're truly being honest with ourselves. No, he didn't. Mm-mm. Is he ever going to get back to playing football at that high of a level? I don't think so. Alex is never going to quit, ever. But I think that he's going to get to a point where his body is going to quit on himself. But like I said, he's not a quitter. Someone is going to have to tell him that it's time. He's not going to say, my time is up. And I think that after going through everything that he went through, knowing what he can do, I think he wants to try and see and prove to himself that he can continue to do it. And he knows he's not going to get that opportunity here. So why not at least try to get that opportunity somewhere else? Whether or not he gets it, I don't know. But I really think it's just a whole lot of, just narrative pushing, which is what we do. That's what everybody does. It's what the media does. It's what these teams do. It's what these players do in order to get what it is that they want, what they want out of this game, what he wants out of his career. And he wants to finish his career more so on his terms and not ours. And ours would have been, listen, like if none of this all came out and the season would have ended and the interviews that we saw where we said, because I think all of us thought, well, Alex is going to retire. There's no way he's going to come back. Once he made it clear that he wanted to, well, then the team could no longer be in a position where they're saying, hey, Alex, you need to retire. Because that's what I thought was going to happen, was that he was going to realize that, or he was going to see within himself that, hey, I can't play. I'm going to retire, and then the team is going to stand behind him and do that. But that was the only way that it was going to end here in Washington, was him retiring or him getting cut. And that's it. And once the team realized he's not going to retire and he knows that he's going to get cut, then you got to figure out what are you going to do to set yourself up in a certain position. So, and to be honest with you, his comments, a lot of people don't think about this. His comments actually help the team because it gives us more justification in cutting him. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't hate us. We don't hate him. It's all a business. This is football, and it's beautiful, really.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's gamesmanship. If
All right,
anything,
I went way off on that.
hey,
bro.
no, you good, brother. you good. Ain't no need to apologize. But you know, it goes back to, like I said, gamesmanship, and then I thought it was kind of funny. You talk about the narrative pushing. I hate watching ESPN after 5 because Mike Wilbon, I don't know if y'all heard what he said. He's like, oh, it's shameful. It's shameful. I'm like, can we get over everybody jumping on Washington's crap because of something that appears to be somewhat muddled? I mean, we've kept our nose clean. If this was last year, okay, I got you. I understand. We're trying to build a better reputation now. But I'm kind of like y'all. We knew this was going to happen. We were planning Alex's career in the front office before. He's like, whoa, wait a minute. And then now I've been looking at quarterbacks. So I'll ask you this: in the quarterback range, who do y'all want to see come in here? Because are you Heineke fans? Are you smashing green bottles, or do you want somebody else to come in here and call signals for Washington in 2021?
So, Maddie Jane, quarterback, because we totally agree on quarterback 100% of the time, right?
Yeah, something like that. Well, listen, there is
both
one
love
guy
Taylor
that,
Heineke.
No, I do love. I mean, I think as a Washington fan, you can't in some way love Taylor Heineke after that performance that he had against Tampa Bay. You're gonna,
Legend.
whether you think he's the guy or not of the future, you're gonna love him. Now, do I think he's the guy of the future? I'm not sure about that. I mean, listen, he had one incredible performance, and also a good quarter against the Panthers. I mean, what he did with us last season was great in the little bit he had, right? But there is one guy that I want with everything inside of me, and that is Deshaun Watson. But I think that's a pipe dream.
Yeah, that is.
So,
that's a pipe dream.
That's the guy that, like, that is the guy that I want, that I'm just waiting for the news to drop. Where is he going to go? But I mean, other than that, like, I don't know. There's so many guys out there, like the names like the Russell Wilsons and guys that it's like, they're probably not going anywhere. And even when it comes out, oh, these are the teams I would play for, usually Washington's never on the list. So honestly, at this point, with it seeming like, you know, there's not going to be like that guy that's going to maybe come here. And then you have like the Mariota, like the Darnolds, like that tier. I'm not sure, you know, I'm not really sure if there's anybody that I love. I'll be fine with most any of those guys if you can get them for cheap and, you know, they can come in and compete with, you know, Heineke or Allen or whatever you're planning. But at this point, I'm not even sure. I mean, I just want somebody that can come in here and win us games. That's all I want at this point. That's all I've been wanting for a long time. So
I hear you.
So you want Cam Newton?
Freddie, go ahead. You talk.
No. I'm good.
No Medea. I say no Medea. I can't deal with Medea coming here. So,
oh, you a Cam Newton hater?
No,
too?
I'm not a Cam Newton hater. I'm a Cam Newton truther. I hate when people say I hate. I'm not hating. I'm a truther. That's all. I'm just telling truth. I observe. He dresses better than most ladies that go to church with me. I call him a dick. So anyway, are you a Cam Newton? Don't tell me you going with Cam, are you now?
Nah, it ain't like that.
Okay.
What was that? What was that look about?
No, because he talks about he would love to have Cam here. He's obsessed with Cam Newton. He would love it. He wanted Cam Newton over Matt Stafford. I'll just leave that there.
That is not what that was. It was not Newton over.
Anyway,
why you got to bring up old stuff?
Anyway.
It sounds relevant to the conversation, but in the words of Ricky Ricardo, you got some explaining to do. So go ahead, Freddie.
But yeah, what was the question again? It was about what had happened was we was talking about who we want as his QB, right?
Yeah.
All right. I don't, to be honest with you, like I don't like nobody on the free agent market. I don't like nobody. I'm kind of a fan of the idea of I'm gonna get dragged. I kind of like the idea of signing Ryan Fitzpatrick to a 1-year deal. To a 1-year deal. I'll tell you why. No, listen.
Cut the cameras.
Listen.
Cut the cameras. Cut the cameras.
No,
we're out. I gotta go. Bye bye.
What?
Let me explain.
Oh God.
Let me explain.
Go ahead, please.
Because I don't like making any sort of like commitment to anyone who's on the free agent market. Right. And this is what I feel like. I'm like, because honestly, I want Taylor Heineke just competing against insert veteran name here, right? For the starting job this coming year. That's really what I want to see. Because I also want to see a young quarterback in the QB room who we draft in, right? Who's going to sit on the bench all or most of this season. Okay. And I feel like you get a veteran guy who's been around, like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, okay? And if Taylor Heineke can play well enough to beat him out, I think that it's good because it sets like a benchmark. Because Ryan Fitzpatrick is average, below average.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's Taylor Heineke, who has never really gotten a shot. He got his shot in his playoff game, right? Mm-hmm. He should be able to beat him out. If he beats him out, you have a decent veteran backup in Fitzpatrick, okay? And then you have a younger, hungry, super hungry quarterback who has proven that he can do some special things, and also he's got a chip on his shoulder, right? Okay? And then you've also got Kellen Mond, who you picked up in the second, waiting to be your starter in 2022. Okay?
I can deal with Kellen Mond.
Don't shit on my scenario before you hear the whole thing.
You put Ryan Fitzpatrick up in there. I can't deal with 30 games under 500. See, my theory on this
Mariota.
I can do Marcus. He is the last quarterback to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, not named Tom Brady.
If I'm being honest though, like I would take Cam over Fitzpatrick, if I'm being honest.
I would agree with you there.
I would take Cam over several people that everyone would say I'm crazy about, but I would take Cam over several people.
See, I have I'm with you, Maddie, on Deshaun Watson. That's my gold standard. That's my golden boy. If I come on, bring it. I trade them picks, but
I think we can all agree on Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
We should be able to, yeah.
The worst thing that happened to Washington was we won the division, right? So, to me, you've opened this window of possibilities. And the only way to help open up this window of possibility even more is to go after a proven veteran. Granted, if he doesn't sign with this team. So, I am going to go to Fort Worth on April 15th. I'm going to fly down there on Washington 1 on Dan Snyder's jet, and I'm going to get one Dak Prescott. And if he's not on that franchise tag, I'm bringing him up here, and I'm asking you, what do you want and what do you need? We'll get it here for you. I mean, it would be asinine not to at least go after him. Maybe not pay him the money, but you've got to go after him. And then you can look at this like we all know. Come on, we live in Virginia, right? We all do. So everybody knows that one Cowboy fan that just like, that gets under your skin. What's the greatest thing you do? Well, we got your quarterback.
Sure.
Hey, man. Hey, it might be pipe dream, but I will take Dak. I will get a jersey. I haven't bought a jersey in like 10 years. I will get me a number 4 jersey. Believe it, Freddie. Believe it. Come on, man.
Now he did he say, I don't know if, reports are reports, but I saw something today said that he wants something like a Mahomes deal. That's
what their reports are. Like I said, the money's got to, that money's going to have to come down a little bit, but
I like it though. I would love to have Dak here. I think he'd be great.
Freddie, what you thinking, man? What you thinking? Talk to me.
He wants Fitzpatrick. It's Fitzpatrick or bust for Freddie.
Freddie! Freddie, come on, man.
Fitzmagic or bust for Freddie.
Let me reiterate to everyone watching that these are Maddie Jane's words and not mine.
What? Why not Dak? What's wrong with Dak?
Nothing's wrong with. I literally said. I said nothing ill of Dak. I would welcome that. I would love Dak.
Okay.
I'm not this actually, to be totally honest with you, I'm all in favor of paying Dak some money. I'm not in favor of giving up draft capital.
Oh, that's fine.
That's my problem. So that's my issue with the whole situation. I mean, that's the issue with the Deshaun Watson thing. But the difference is with Deshaun Watson, I feel like just about anything short of trading away Chase Young is worth it for Deshaun Watson. Period. I'll give up my mother, my firstborn.
Hey, there you go. I'm right there with you.
I'll give up a kidney.
Yeah. My grandma's 90. I think she probably got a few more years on the field she could play. So, no.
Let me ask you this though, because we haven't talked about this. So let me ask you this, Corey. Who do you like in the draft? Because Justin Fields has been linked to us. Who's your guy as far as if it comes down to the draft, that's really where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I want to be. I know a lot of fans don't. They just loathe the idea.
But you're definitely probably giving up draft capital to get your guy in the draft,
right? And we've had, but here's the thing: there's a difference between what you got to give up to trade up to 5 or 6 versus trading up to 12, 13. Once you get a QB slipping out of the top 10, then it's like,
So I think with the first pick, we've got to go after linebacker. I like Zaven Collins from Tulsa. Yeah. I like homeboy from Notre Dame. I don't think we're gonna get Micah Parsons.
No.
I think he'll be a top 10 pick. But what I've seen,
the dude from Notre Dame, he's got that name I can't pronounce.
Yeah, I'd do him a disservice if I said his name. But we know who we talk.
It would be nice to have a player with the last name Collins who's good on this team.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That boy, he's a box safety. We knew this. I mean, come on now. They just didn't cut the box open for him.
The problem now is that we have a strong on the team who's better.
Oh yeah.
All right, Freddie, let the man finish his question. You asked him a question. Now you gotta let him finish it.
See, I know where he's going with this. I know where he's going with this. Fanboying up in here. Fanboy. When I'm on y'all's podcast, I'm just gonna fanboy the heck out of all these people I got. But I know what he's doing there. He's curling up to me right now. So, but as far as you mentioned Kellen Mond later, I think you could probably get him in the 3rd round. I like him. I actually I watched him against Alabama, and I kind of like how he played against Alabama. He didn't play the best, but he stood in there. Kyle Trask, just the way he played in that bowl game killed me though. I'm just like, you don't have any weapons and you played that bad. I can't go after him, but I like Kellen Mond, but I'm going after defense. Jack and Ron deserve their linebacker. They deserve it. And y'all know this, the linebackers that we have outside of probably Cole and maybe KPL on sometimes, and then John Bostic. We need somebody that can cover. John Bostic literally runs away from coverage. So that's what we need. We need a linebacker, and if we can get Zaven Collins or homeboy from Notre Dame, I'll be good. And then you can get a quarterback later. But we're not gonna need to draft quarterback because Dak's not gonna get re-signed by Jerry, and then we're gonna bring him here. And number 4 is gonna be our quarterback. So
that would be dope.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be.
I feel like if you're not down with that, then I got 2 words for you.
Get out.
Sure you do?
What?
You never finished.
Yeah, you're finished.
God, you guys. All right. No, all right. You guys aren't WWE fans. It's cool.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not a big wrestling fan.
This is a football podcast. I mean, this is a football show, Freddie. Anyway.
Hey, so we'll circle back. We're still sticking 2020. This was a crazy season, and no doubt about it. I don't think if you wrote this for Hollywood, anybody would believe it. But the up, the downs, then the ups, kind of downs. What was the turning point in this season for each of you? For this team, when it was like, you know what, this team's going to be all right.
I know the moment for me when I knew that everything was going to be cool, that we were going to be all right, was when it's not a specific part in the game against the Steelers. Okay. When we got the offsides or whatever on the goal line stand and had to end up, because we had to hold them for 6 downs instead of 4 or whatever it was. And when we made that goal line stand against the Steelers, I thought to myself, this really is, because you were feeling it, but you didn't necessarily want to say it. It's like if you say it, you can jinx it. But that's when I said to myself, no, it is. This team is a new team. This is different. Whatever we were before, this old, the way that we used to do things is done. And this is how we're doing it now. And this is a team that's actually going to not fold under the pressure. They're going to maybe rise to the occasion now. That was a turning point this season for me.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Because I think you're right. I would agree that there were so many times in the season at different moments. I'm like, man, our team last year, a couple years ago, wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't have been that is not this is. So I definitely agree there. I think that was probably around that time for me as well. I think it really was. It was the defense, because it was always okay, this defense, this defense is this defense for real. The pieces are here. Is this defense for real? And in the beginning of the season, it was okay, they're playing well, but there was just that moment, probably around the Steelers game, where it clicked, where it was turnover after pick after fumble recovery, just where it was wow, it's okay, this defense is a real defense. This is a top defense. And even in the midst of quarterback after this, Haskins, and then Allen gets hurt, and then it's Smith, and you're is Smith gonna even be able to stay? Even through all that, it's no, it doesn't even matter as much, because this defense is so good that I almost feel confident with anybody on this roster almost under center, because of how good this defense is. So I think it was that realization for me that wow, okay, no, this defense is everything we thought, everything that it is on paper, everything we thought it was going to be. It's that. So that was probably the what it was for me as well.
I think for me, I'll go back 2 weeks. I'll go back to Cincinnati. And when they got them on that, where they knocked out Joe Burrow, the fumble, right, and Chase recovered in Apke. I mean, that's the only Apke highlight of the year. But I think that was a turning point, because it showed that this team could hang in there, and then they go down there, dominate Dallas, and then they catch Pittsburgh on a short week. And then I think it just all fell into place for them from then on. And I remember, and I don't know if y'all watch baseball that much, but when Curt Schilling had the bloody sock, that's what Alex reminded me of in Pittsburgh, when he had that bloody leg. I was like, gonna be okay. But those 3 are kind of turning point. I felt like it just seemed like they were coming together, playing good football, and the defense was dominant, was aggressive. So I think November let's just say late November. And granted, I think my birthday was that Saturday, and then they played the Bengals. So I just say me turning 30 was the turning point for them. But so with your, you look at last season, everything like that. I get, and I'll ask you this question. We know Chase is probably the MVP of this team from the grand scheme of things. So who were your pleasant surprises? And then who was your biggest disappointment last year in 2020?
Oh, well, Freddie, you got to go first because I already know, and I don't want to even say.
No, you can like I was gonna give it to you. Like, you want to say it?
No, you go ahead. You're the stan. You're the stan of this player.
So here we go.
Okay, the biggest surprise was number 31, was Cam Curl, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Okay, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. The second greatest safety in the history of the Washington franchise.
Okay, all right.
You kind of putting them up there putting them on a pedestal, aren't you, man?
I'm telling you, it's like, look, there's Sean Taylor, right? Who's like up. Sean Taylor's like up here, and then there's Cam Curl, right? And then like Ronnie Lott's like down there, and like Charles Woodson, like all those dudes are like underneath him.
I am going to tell y'all this now. I do not endorse this. Anything said on this show cannot be traced back to me.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on the Warpath show are not necessarily those.
Don't say necessarily. They're not. They're not. Ryan Fitzpatrick, and now the greatest safety, second greatest safety, Cam Curl.
I do a lot. So, yeah, I'm all about hyperbole. All right. So, Maddie Jane knows this.
I do. Well, biggest
disappointment. My biggest disappointment, honestly, was. And I'm not even going to say, so the easy one to say would be Collins, but honestly, like, he got hurt and he was playing good ball. He really was. So I'm upset that we didn't get to see like where he could get to. But if that doesn't happen, then Cam Curl maybe doesn't emerge in the way that he does. So it's a double-edged sword. I mean, it's like that. That happens. Again, it's one of the beautiful things about the game. Biggest disappointment to me was Cam Sims.
Huh. Cam
Sims. Steven Sims. Cam.
I was like,
I'm just saying Cam. I'm like on Cam. Steven Sims, number 15. Steven Sims. Steven Sims, our slot receiver / supposed to be our dynamic kick returner who can't catch anything. Can't catch, can't run, can't play with them. Can't coach with them. Can't win with them.
Can't do it.
I mean, he went from like maybe could be something really, really special, found a diamond in the rough, to straight scrub. I think, no, that's Maddie Jane. Didn't you call him Scrub Sims?
I did, but we don't have to bring that here. Listen,
Scrub Sims.
Oh no.
So you're gonna call me out?
Yeah, we gotta flip this around. We didn't got on Freddie now, so we got to get on.
I did. I called him Scrub. I did call him Scrub. Now that was in the heat of the moment. That was in the heat of a moment. One of the games where he dropped, it was like a fumble, and I think it wasn't there one that was returned for a touchdown or almost like it was one of those.
Carolina,
that was probably the moment where I was like, he's a scrub. So like in the moment, it was bad. We all saw the regression was like out of this world. Like it was horrible. So I'll probably stick to it, but I did say that. Sorry, go ahead, Freddie. I did.
No. I was no.
Okay,
good.
So my biggest surprise was absolutely, well, I would say, Cam Curl, I think, is the easy one in that category. But I would say Morgan Moses. And the reason being because before the season, I feel like everybody was like, and this, almost his whole career, everybody's like, man, he's trash. Understandably, he hasn't played well. Freddie thought it. Freddie thinks he's trash. But you have to see the way that he came in this season. First of all, first of all, I mean, his came in as a leader from the jump. He's always been this year. You really saw this jump of wow, he's leading this team. And then I mean his play. I mean, I don't think you could. He played so well this year. And even when there was a point where he was moved to left tackle and played well and did his thing. And that's anytime that he's had to. I mean, there were moments where you're like, wait, he looked like a different player. And so to me, the biggest surprise was Morgan Moses coming in, probably being one of, if not the most consistent lineman we had this year. Again, just being a leader of this team. So that would have been my biggest surprise, probably. Biggest disappointment was probably Troy Apke getting snaps at all on defense. That's my biggest disappointment. That's on Ron Rivera. I'm sorry. What the heck was that? That was my biggest disappointment, was Troy playing.
Troy Krafke, as I like to call him sometimes.
Yes, exactly.
You've been hating on Apke before hating on Apke was cool.
I mean, what has he done, though, bro?
Hey, he caught that interception against the 49ers.
That he did.
Finally.
In the pouring rain.
Shoot.
Yeah, we were there for that mess.
Oh, y'all were at that game and then in the shutout. Oh gosh, I went to the Giants game at the end of the year, and that was very surreal, to be honest with you, because not really realizing that was going to be the last time we were going to be under the last name, the team name, and everything, and we soaked in the whole moment. It was weird though, but my biggest, I guess, surprise would be Antonio Gibson. And the reason why I say that was at the beginning of the season, nobody would have told, if you had told me this guy is going to be your leading running back, he's going to lead you, because we got Adrian Peterson on the roster, we got Darius Geis, and then and so I think it's him without a doubt. Played great when he was healthy. I think that toe was a bigger injury than what it was. And he still had a good game against Carolina if Scott would have focused on putting the ball in his hand a little bit more. The biggest disappointment to me, though, would be Strip Club Simba. I think that Dwayne Haskins was the biggest. I mean, he made for a good joke. I mean, I had a lot of one-liners with him, like that one right there. But, it was disappointment to see this fall of this young man who is intelligent, but he lacks common sense. And, because we all were we were all rooting for him. Like, if you're a fan of this team, you were rooting for this kid to succeed. And they were setting it up like it was like, this kid finally gets it. He's going to do, and then no, just, and I mean, it is what it is, but that was my biggest disappointment. And then when he got cut after all that stuff, I'm just like, come on, brother, you got to get better. I wish him all the best in Pittsburgh. Learn from Big Ben. He can learn from the best up there. So, but those are my biggest disappointments right there. So you kind of mentioned something about Morgan Moses here. Maddie did. I arguably think that he was the best offensive lineman on the team this year. Although Brandon Sheriff garnered All-Pro recognition. First time since 96, and I think first position player since 92. And the biggest question is, do you pay this man? So I'll ask you straight up. Do you pay this man, or do you let him walk?
I think Freddie and I differ on this.
Okay.
I have been in the pay this man boat. I think I understand that he is a guard. Okay. I understand that, you could probably find guards. You have a Eric Flowers situation where you get a guy that you think is a washed player, and then he comes in and he's great as a guard. Like, I understand that those things happen. I understand that he's not a tackle, right? But I also understand that he is a great player. He is an all-pro type player, even if this season didn't feel like that one, and then he got the honor this year. But also, he loves this team. I mean, you hear him talk about it at the end of the season where he's like, I love this team. I love Ron Rivera. He loves to be here. That's something I love in players, when you can tell that they love to be on this team, like that they love to play with their brothers. Like, you can see him and Morgan Moses, their connection is off the charts. Like, stuff like that. Yeah, I like stuff like that. I think And again, he's great. He is a great player. And so I understand that he's going to be expensive. I get that. And I get that there's a lot of needs on this team. And we need a lot. So we need to save money where we can. I get that. But still, I would probably pay him. I think, keeping those guys together, I think like I said, he's a great guard. He's a great player. And so that's my opinion. But I understand why some people are like, it's too expensive for a guard. I get that. But that's what I would do.
Freddie, so you all differ on this. So I guess you were like, you say let him walk?
No. So I like that you brought up the thing about Morgan Moses, because I actually believe that too. Even though Brandon Sheriff got the All-Pro nod, I think that Morgan Moses was the best player on the line all year, and I think that Morgan has been more consistent. That's my only issue really with Brandon is it's two things. It's the consistency and it's the injury. I mean, those are two really important things. But yeah, he's the first all-pro position player that we've had since however long it's been, which is just nuts when you think about it. That kind of talent doesn't come along all the time. And he is a Ron Rivera type guy. Ron Rivera is building the team in his image. I kind of feel like it this way. If Ron and his staff and his front office believe in Brandon and believe that he's worth it, then I say do it. Keep him. I mean, do what you got to do to keep him. Do I like putting that kind of money on him? No, not necessarily. But I mean, that talent just doesn't come around all the time. And generally, you need to hang on to it when you have it. And you never know what's going to happen. We're not promised tomorrow any more in football than we are in life. So and my stance has kind of changed on this, because before I was just kind of vehemently behind, no, don't pay him that kind of money. He is a guard, yada, 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 yada. I mean, I still don't like the idea of the number I've heard thrown around is, $15 million. If he didn't have the injury history, then I would say yes. Because of the injury history, I go, I don't know about all that. It would depend to me how the deal is structured and how long the deal is, honestly. But then also, we'll see what the market will look like, and what teams are going to want to bring in a guard and pay him that kind of money. I understand that the ball's in our court right now because he's on our team, but I'd like to think that the thinking around the league, they're going to think in similar, and everyone's cutting players right now because of the cap situation that we run into. Because cap hasn't gone up. It's like the first time the cap hasn't gone up in whatever we're expecting the increase to go up. It hasn't. So, I mean, there's cap casualties all over the place, and it's going to continue to happen. So it's not just Washington who's saying, okay, do we want to allocate X amount of money on a guard, regardless of how good he is? So, but I just I say, if Ron wants him, do it. If Ron thinks it's worth it, fine, because I believe in Ron.
There you go. We've got to trust him all the way to the bank. I'm to the opinion right now that if he goes, he goes. I don't think we can't get caught up in awards, right? And that's where I think the big thing is now is we're getting, he's an all-pro. We hear that word, and we hear that word, and it's like, he's all-pro. We have to pay him. Not necessarily. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay him.
Flowers played better than he did last year.
Right, exactly. And kind of what we said. I think Morgan Moses, you said the same thing. We think Morgan Moses had a better season. He was healthy. The man missed what? He missed like 6 games last year or something, or 5 games. And JP Finley had an interesting stat about him, though. Like, the team has a better chance of winning with him in the lineup. Yet he had all 16 games since the second season of his career. and he's going into the age 30 season, I think. No, he's not going to age 30 season. He's like, he'll be 29 or something like that. So he's getting up there in age. Granted, guards can last a little bit longer, but with his durability issues, I think that time might be cut in half a little bit. So, we'll see. I think they'll get something done, but if they don't, just don't put Wes Martin out there. That's all I'm asking.
I'm not going to be upset about it.
Yeah.
If we end up starting next season and we've got Schweitzer and Sadiq Charles as our 2 interior linemen, I feel good about it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Oh, hopefully he can stay healthy. That's his biggest thing is he needs to stay healthy. And in the words of Stephen A. Smith, stay off the weed. Do you all have any free agents that you want to come here that are outside the quarterback realm that are like, this will look good in burgundy and gold and he could change the direction of this team?
Well, I will say that my favorite position is wide receiver. And so automatically the first positions that come to my mind are some receivers out there. I've wanted, and I understand like there's injury, there's a lot here, but I've wanted Allen Robinson forever, like forever since he left Jacksonville. Like I have been all about him. So like I would love to see him here. If he doesn't, like I'm not going to be like, I think he's great. I would love to see him in burgundy and gold. And along with that, I would love to see, I think, and a lot of people are making this connection already, but I think Curtis Samuel, like, I think he's a great player, young player. I think he'd be great here. I think I think Curtis Samuel more than anything. I don't know. I just feel something about him coming in this lineup with Terry, seeing like, Kelvin possibly, like we see what else happens with the receivers. I think he would come in and really help the receiving core. I don't know, something it feels right. So I would say some of those guys. I also know, like you said earlier, I mean, I think linebackers, I think Levante David, right? There's some free agents out there that could also, I think that would be another position where if like you could get your guy in free agency, if there's one that, like Ron, I think I would trust Ron's opinion on linebackers. So if he has one, not only was he a great one, but also he's had some great ones on teams that he's coached. Yeah. So if he can find his guy in free agency, go for it. Whatever, do whatever you got to do. But yeah, I'll say A-Rob or Curtis Samuel would be fun for me. I would be excited about.
Oh. What about you, Freddie?
I mean, I pretty much just agree with that. No, I'm pretty much on board. Just with everything that Maddie said, really. And she said everything so eloquently. I really don't have anything to expound upon that. Like she took all my players. Like,
sorry.
Hey, well, we'll see. Hey, Kyle Rudolph just got cut. So
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Kyle Rudolph.
Bring him in. We need.
Hey, I mean,
if you want to come here.
I mean, shoot. Unless y'all want Jeremy Sprinkle again.
That's what I'm saying, Freddie. You are looking like we got the ultimate tight end lineup on this team. Come on now.
It's not that. It's just like everyone whenever anybody gets cut anywhere, it's like
fair enough. But tight ends and Kyle Rudolph come on. He's good enough that you can be like, okay, maybe.
Does he make the team that much better? No, is he taking the spot of someone else who can make the team better?
Time out real quick. Did you just ask that question? When we legitimately played with one tight end last year who was a former quarterback, did you really just ask that question? We had Logan Thomas and nothing.
Exactly.
We had nothing, Freddie. Come on, bro. You should be a Logan Thomas guy.
I am a Logan Thomas guy.
I know, so you know he needs help.
He needs help. He's gasping for air, man. Come on. What tight end are you bringing in, Freddie? Who's going to change the game in the tight end room? That is not Kyle Rudolph.
Pitts.
Oh, come on, man. You trading into the top 10? You trading into the top 10?
He's the only player that's really worth trading up for.
True.
I'm just saying, Kyle Rudolph probably won't be that expensive, and I think he would be an upgrade automatically to Sprinkle and Marcus Ball, whoever that was. I don't know.
Isn't Njoku getting cut or something?
They said that's probably going to look like. Yeah.
Any of those guys could be worth it. I mean, that's what we're saying. Like with this tight end room, I think any of those guys could be worth a look.
My whole point though is like, because you start like, oh, Kyle Rudolph's available. We ended up with the best free agent tight end pickup last year, and we got the dude who wasn't the name. That's the point that I'm like. The bigger point that I'm trying to make, it's not that like I don't want to bring people in who can make the team better. Like, of course they can make the team better, but I'm just down on like not everyone's trash is your treasure. Maybe, a lot of the time they're just trash. And we've done that too many times. Yeah. And I'm done picking up trash.
I mean, Kyle Rudolph, he's 10 years worth of trash though. I was saying, I get what you're saying though, because you look at it and really, I said Antonio Gibson was my pleasant surprise.
I'm not saying that Kyle Rudolph is trash. That's not what I meant.
I know what I'm just giving you a hard time. But I said my surprise with Antonio Gibson. I think Logan Thomas, Ronald Darby. Logan Thomas had a world of a better season than Stupor Hooper did up there in Cleveland. And then Ronald Darby, these guys, we didn't really think. Peyton Barber was our goal line back. So we found these cats in free agency, and they squeezed the orange on them. So
McKissic was like unsung hero. Okay. Yeah. Where would this team have been this season, especially when Gibson got hurt without McKissic?
Oh no!
I mean,
you're preaching to the choir. You're absolutely right. But so just to wrap up here, you all, congratulations on your nomination for the Burgundy and Golden Globes. You guys were one of 4 podcasts that were out there that were nominated. So congratulations to you all. And you just had a recently huge interview with somebody with the Washington football team. You made mention of it earlier, but talk about talking to Jack Del Rio and interviewing him for the time that you all had.
It was amazing. Maddie Jane,
I'll say this. I don't feel like necessarily an interviewer. I don't feel like when it's like big, like Jack Del Rio. I mean, come on, that's you get nervous, like getting ready to be on I was nervous. I was so nervous to talk to him, but as soon as we jumped on, I have to say this about him. He was the easiest guy to talk to. He was so nice. You wonder are they going to give political answers, short answers, stuff like that. And we didn't ask a whole lot of questions well, what, we're not going to get in there and try to get the scoop because that's not what we do. We but even still, when we would ask him things, he was just so he would elaborate so much, and he was so I don't know, he was great. And not only is it so cool because he's the defense coordinator, I mean, what the heck, how in the world, but he was so nice, he really was. And he was so he was a great guy to talk to. And it wasn't I got to get out of here too. We were done, and he was like, you have anything else for me? Come on, you got another zinger for me? He wanted us to ask him more questions. It's just awesome. He doesn't know us from anybody. We're not anybody, and he's sitting here giving us all this time, being so willing. It's just so cool because I think it's cool to see. It makes you like coach that, obviously he did a lot of great things with his defense. So you like what he did on the field, but also he was just, such a nice guy. So and he said a lot of really, really good stuff. It was a super fun interview. Probably one of the highlights of my Washington football life as a fan. So really, really cool.
What about you, Freddie?
Yeah, no, it was super cool. And again, like with what Maddie Jane said, I mean, we went into it not really knowing what to expect. He's by far the most high profile person we've had on our pod because, when we started the pod, and still to this day, I mean, we continue to be about what we're doing right here, about fan interaction, about fans. So I mean, we didn't really concern ourselves with, it was never a goal for us, to try to get a guest like that. The opportunity just kind of just happened. And then I think the coolest part just for me was, getting to do it just from a fan standpoint. I mean, forget the podcast, you know, forget the show. It just being able to have that memory and to be able to talk to someone who's been in football their whole life, who really, really knows, and get to hear them talk about their career, players they've coached, what the team's like, and to get that passion too. I mean, because Maddie, Jane, and I talked about it at the end of the interview. I mean, me and her were ready to put on pads and go play for coach. Like, you can feel these players, you know, who want to play for him. Mm-hmm. You know, when you talk to him. So it was really cool. But yeah, the biggest thing for me is just to have that memory is really cool, to say that it's something that we did. It's something that we'll be able to keep forever. You know, and got to do it at such a cool and interesting time in the history of the team. And then just being two Yahoo fans from Virginia, getting to be in a position like that, doing that, you know, and also, I mean, you know, Corey, I mean, being able to get to share the experience with one of my best friends.
That's awesome.
Getting to do it with Maddie, Jane, with all the stuff that we've done, all the hard work that we've put in, being able to have that memory together is really cool.
Yeah, and it was a great interview. And I said I was going to wrap it up here, but I do have one more. I have another question for you. We kind of touched on it earlier, but you know, Freddie, you said everybody said, "Oh God, we're not getting the name until 2022." We knew this back in October that this was going to announce something new. So, do you all have a preference for the name? Do you like Washington football team, or what's your end game for the name?
I was gonna say, if you say that silly ass name.
What name? Okay. This.
No.
You talking about Red Wolves?
Oh, you said it. It's better than Red Tails.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like what people say when it comes to the name football team, right? I like the idea that, like, a lot of people said, that it's like, well, it can kind of still be it's not replacing the old name, right? It's like, it's just kind of like more broad now. It's like, you could, with it being football team, you could still think of it as the former name, all that stuff. Like, and I like that. I'm like, yeah, no, I would agree there. But I do hate when I'm like, people are like, what's your team like name? It's like Washington, or if I'm trying to, like, where I would usually say the former name, I'm saying football team. I'm like, I do hate that. I hate how I have to talk about the team and I have to say football team, because it just feels so wrong. Like, I'm like, I feel like I'm talking about like a great value brand, like team, like that's what it feels like. Like, I can't say a name. So I don't like that about it, but I don't hate the idea. I understand why some people like it, because it doesn't feel like a replacement as much. I don't know that I've kind of been like, I feel like I sometimes go with the waves where I see a really cool like graphic made up for a team name and I'm like, oh, that could kind of be cool because I like the concept, whatever. I've kind of liked a lot of the ones that have come out. But I definitely don't. I'm down with whatever for the most part. I did like the idea, like I would have loved to be able to have it like with an R so you could keep HTTR, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. And that was like, I mean, HTTR was just, there was something about it that I loved that I stuck with. But you know, again, I'm not like too caught up on a certain name. Like, I wouldn't mind Red Wolves. There was a time I was like, that's kind of cool. Some of the graphics I saw with the R, with like the old school Joe Gibbs R, with like I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Because like, as long as I think it would be cool to tie it to the past in some way. I think if they can do that with whatever name that is, dope. I'm all about it. But yeah, I don't want to have to say, yeah, the football team forever necessarily, personally.
What about you, Freddie? That eyebrow.
So you down with the Red Wolves?
I mean, I'm not down with it. It's just got to be a cool. The rest of it, the design, I think it's more about the overall, like, what is the uniform looking like? What is the logo looking like? There's a lot at play here. I don't hate Red Wolves. I wouldn't be like, yes, that's my name, but I don't hate it. I'm not like, personally. What do you think, Freddie? Listen, you have such a strong opinion. What name do you want? You want Washington Ryan Fitzpatrick's.
Oh my goodness. Had to edit that one out. Y'all done cuss too much on my channel. I get a copy.
Actually, it would be the Washington Cam Curls, but
Okay.
no, I've been saying it. I've been saying it for a long time. I'm a big fan of keeping it football team for a lot of the same reasons that Maddie Jane said. The one I do like how it does have that bit of ambiguity to where we don't have an official mascot. So the team it's whatever you want it to be. It's whatever it is to you, right? And if the old name is what it is to you, and you have those people out there say, oh, it'll always be that to me. Like, fine then, it can be, right? So I do share the same opinion about football team, and then the trolls, and when you see lists of names and it says, especially with our division, it says Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, football team. It's like you could very easily just put Washington. Like, you're doing this on purpose because like just to do it. So I get that. To me, it's a really, really easy fix. You change the T to a C, right? You make it Washington Football Club, all right? And then
now Corey doesn't like that. Now he's giving the
like
brow.
that. I like
giving the brow now.
No,
I like Washington.
It's the pizza. It's the pizza.
I like Washington FC. I like Washington FC. Okay, and then we're all part of the club, man.
I will say, though, I do think I am proud of Washington, where I feel like in the past they would have pushed out a name like right away and done the wrong thing, and everybody would have been like, this. So I'm even though in the moment I was like, what? When they first revealed it, I'm like, are you kidding me? That's what you're going to do? Once I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Smart move, mature move. Really make the right decision. Whatever you're going to do, you're going to sit and you're going to take time and you're going to make the right one. So I'll give them props for doing that. I think that was the right decision. So now whatever they do, I'm like, well, I think you went about it the right way.
Right.
Corey, let me
go ahead.
I gotta ask you this with the name thing.
Go ahead, man.
Because it's been ad nauseum, the Red Wolves and Red Wolves Washington football team, but we're ignoring the big elephant in the room. What do you think about if it happens? Because I think it's also very likely. Because to me, it was the most obvious one. When it came down that the name was going to change, I immediately thought, oh, it's going to be Washington Warriors. What do you think about that?
For the longest time, I liked the Red Wolves for the HTTR thing. But at the end of the day, I've kind of gotten to the point, if we're winning, I don't give a crap. They can call us the bootlickers for all I care. If it's the Warriors, they can call us they can call us the concrete steel mow over Washington team or whatever, the broken monuments. I don't really care at that point. It's just like, just
as long as it's burgundy and gold, right?
Exactly. That's half my wardrobe, man. It legitimately is half my wardrobe.
It's more than half of my wardrobe.
Exactly. Like it's just like, I think I wear like 3 Washington polos to work on any given week. And I love the colors. I love the skin. And you know what? I like football team because when we beat team, I like go football team. I said, y'all want to be trolls to me? And I just troll people. Like when we beat the Eagles in week 1, oh gosh. Oh God, I was straight ignorant the whole time. Like I said, what I always tell people, see, I get on here, like when we beat Dallas, it's shades and cigar time on the Warpath. And I tell these people the same thing, kind of like Shannon Sharp tells people. I was like, look, I know y'all can't stand me. I can't stand my own self. Try living with me. So anything that I can do to troll people in that sense, I like getting Dak Prescott. All I say, go football team. Oh, well, so to answer your question a roundabout way, Freddie, it don't matter to me. They can be the Warriors. They can be the Assassin's Creed. They could be the Daniel Snyder's dancers for all I care, which that probably get us in a little bit of trouble. But, I mean, just whatever they want us to call. I do not like Red Tails, though, because I think you can open yourself up to a terrible name calling in that situation. So that's what I don't like. But Y'all, this has been a blast, and I appreciate y'all coming on here, taking time out to come and talk. Where can the folks find y'all at, just for a wrap up and everything?
So you can follow us on Twitter at HTWeAre, HTWeAre. You can also, we're also on Instagram. We are also on YouTube. We don't promote through YouTube, but you can listen to our show. You can find us on iTunes, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Breaker, pretty much all the major podcast apps. You can subscribe to us and listen to us there. In season, we put out an episode, at least an episode every week, along with some bonus episodes sprinkled in there. Right now we're in the off season, so we haven't put out an episode in a week or two, but we'll be putting out a new one soon with a very special guest. So, and some cool stuff. And we like to do a lot of stuff. We are very, very happy and proud to be the fan-centric podcast. So, so that's what it is. That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
It's what we do.
That's right. Hey, HTWeAre Podcast, y'all check them out and tell them Sanchez 405 on the Warpath sent you there. But as always, y'all, I'm Sanchez 405 for Maddy, for Freddie. Love, peace, and hail. We'll be talking to you real soon. We're out. Not I'm out.